How in the world does magnesium help your hormones? There are two ways, and I want to talk about both of them. One is a pathway in your liver. COMT enzyme helps to clear excess estrogen. And if you get excess estrogen, you put weight on like a spare tire. Your depression is increased. Your anxiety is decreased. You become constipated. Your thyroid downregulates. So excess estrogen is something that we want to take care of and not allow it to become out of balance in our body. Magnesium is one way to do that. So we want enough magnesium in our body. And remember, 30-day challenge is all about achieving cell saturation. That is the gold standard when it comes to magnesium, achieving cell saturation. We can take it orally, but it's time to upgrade our magnesium. We need more than just relaxing our muscles. We need that COMT enzyme that clears out estrogen. That's what we need happening for our excess estrogen. Now, if you're like me and you're in menopause, the closer you get to perimenopause and menopause, it just becomes super important to critically vital. And so making sure that we not only achieve cell saturation, but we maintain cell saturation. So my name's Kristen. I'm the founder of Living the Good Life Naturally. And I want to know, what day are you on? Are you on your first day? Did you just start your magnesium challenge? Are you finished with your magnesium challenge? Have you been tested? Are you on day 15, on day 16? Share with me what day you're on. Now, let's talk about the second. Well, maybe there's actually three things. So I'm going to throw in an extra one because another one just came to mind that might be beneficial for you. So we'll just drag this video out and make it a little bit longer. So the second thing is, let's talk about cortisol. I want you to think of the last time. Oh, I need to click on comments so I can see comments. Oh my gosh, Shelly, thank you. Don't forget to text that. It makes such a difference, right? So one of the things that we need to understand about hormones is that they're produced from a building block, pregnenolone. Oh, pregnenolone. That is the pregnenolone. And they're produced from that pregnenolone. That's a building block to make testosterone, to make estrogen, to make progesterone. You have to have the building block to make that. I want you to think about, tell me, when was the last time you were stressed? I'll tell you mine. I'll go first and then you tell me yours. So I have two water bottles that look exactly the same in my house. One is filled with half hydrogen peroxide and half water. And I use it on this fiddle leaf fig that I have put more care and love and time investment in than any plant I have ever had in my house. The hydrogen, it got fungus in the roots. And so they told me that watering it with hydrogen peroxide and spraying the leaves with a mixture of hydrogen peroxide. And it has helped. My brown spots are getting better. I don't know how it happened, but the bottles weren't marked. I forgot to do it. And I started spraying my hair with the half hydrogen peroxide and half water. Now, I don't know what hydrogen peroxide would do to your hair. Maybe it wouldn't do anything, but my stress levels went through the roof because for some reason in the back of my head, I can remember in junior high, girls doing like lightening their hair with hydrogen peroxide. And I've already got like enough color here because I'm growing out my gray. So I've got my old color and then my gray color coming in. So I'm feeling a little stripy. And Shelly, does it bleach it? Oh my gosh, I was right. So when I realized I'm misting my hair with what I think is hydrogen peroxide. My stress levels went through the roof. That's all I needed was more zebra stripes in my hair. And my stress went through the roof. My cortisol exploded. I was like, ah, I was screaming. Oh no. I'm running around the house checking hydrogen peroxide bottles. Now, fortunately, it wasn't the one that was the plant one. I don't think. As of so far, I don't have any stripes in it. So I don't think I got the plant. I think I got the hairspray bottle. I'm going to put Sharpie. I was waiting for a cute label. I'm just going to write it in Sharpie. So when that happened, and I want to know, when was the last time you got stressed? Well, tell me what happened. I shared mine. Share yours. So when my stress levels went up, my body took that building block of pregnenolone and it took it to create cortisol because I went into fight or flight mode. All the adrenaline pumped to my legs and my hands. I was running around the house like a crazy woman, trying to find the other water bottle to compare. What have I done? I'm screaming. I'm picturing more stripes in my hair as I grow out the gray. I'm picturing my hair like falling off because of what I've done. My body took the building blocks to make the cortisol. Yeah, it happened. And it happens when you get stressed too. Now, sometimes when I'm stressed, I hold it on the inside and you can't tell I'm stressed. It's like I look all calm on the outside and sometimes I can even put a smile on my face. Like, yeah, I'm silent. It's more of a lip stretch. Like, yeah, here you are. I'm silent. And then sometimes I'm running around like a crazy. Well, that's not a nice thing to say. I'm running around like that. And so I'm not saying you have to run around your house screaming to have your pregnenolone be stolen. It's called a pregnenolone steal because then it gets used for cortisol. And then when your body goes to make the hormones that it needs, nothing's there to make it with. That's a problem. And sometimes we have been so stressed out for so very long that we don't even recognize we're stressed out. Sometimes we're used to it. It's like when you boil a frog in water and it just gets used to it and the stress has been turned up. We don't even realize how stressed out we are. So that's why it's so very important, I think, that you find your place. Now, I have my place. I have a porch that before 7 o'clock is so peaceful. After 7 o'clock, the traffic starts. Before 7 o'clock, it is the most beautiful view and it's absolutely peaceful. There's not a lot of cars. I live right off of Highway 1, not a lot of cars on Highway 1, and it's just amazing. I sit out there every morning and read poetry. It's one of my favorite things to do. The cadence of the poetry while I drink my Creo brew relaxes me. And it's something that I do for myself in the mornings because it helps relax me and it helps remind me what balance is and what it feels like in my body. Now, sometimes I only do that for 5 minutes. Sometimes I do it for an hour. But I pretty much, about 90% of the time, I do that. Now, sometimes I can get to the ocean. It's a little bit further away. I've got to hop in my car and go, mile and a half to the ocean. Wherever your place is, you need to have a place where you're at the majority of the time. I work from my home, and so my place needs to be where I can get to it every day. Now, I don't get to the ocean every single day, but that's another place that I have. Maybe yours is the hills or the mountains or your garden or your backyard or a swing in a tree. Now, usually I've found over the last 20 years as I work with women that their place is somewhere outside. Or maybe I have a daughter that's totally redoing her bedroom, and it's amazing. It looks so good. It's taken her about 6 months to put it all together, and it literally could be on a magazine. It's so beautiful. Her place might be in that bedroom, just enjoying what she's created and the beauty that she's put together. So I'm not saying it has to be outside. A lot of times we lean toward that outside because we're also getting negative ions when it's outside. And so, oh my gosh, construction at every turn, that can be stressful. Absolutely. Oh, the porch swing, that's your favorite thing. And so one of the things that you can do when you're in that favorite place, in that place of renewal, is you can ask yourself, what do my legs feel like? What does my stomach feel like? Because sometimes we're so disconnected, we don't recognize our stomach's tightened up when our stress hits. And so I just want you to feel like, what do my shoulders feel like? What does my back feel like when I'm relaxed? What's my breathing like when I'm relaxed? Because if you don't notice it and you can't describe it, you can't recreate it. And that's a huge part of creating balanced hormones, knowing how to come back out of that fight or flight. Because, Shelley, when you got stressed driving the kids to school, you took some of that pregnenolone and your body had to create cortisol instead of hormones. And so it's a really important part. Now, here's the other role that magnesium plays, and that is mitigating. When you're at cell saturation, magnesium mitigates what cortisol does to your body. So think of being in a china shop. We a lot of times will go to Carmel. We live in Morro Bay, and so we drive to Carmel. And there's this little English tea shop in Carmel that I just love. There's a cheese shop that I love and a tea shop that I love. And it's Jane Austen. I couldn't think for a second. It's a Jane Austen tea shop. And I love Jane Austen. And I really enjoy going in that tea shop. Now, when I walk in that tea shop, it reminds me of all my European travels. And I love it. And there is this little lady with an English accent, and there's beautiful teacups everywhere. And it reminds me of our adopted Welsh grandma, and I love it. Imagine if I was in that tea shop and somebody was taking golf balls and throwing them as hard as they could all over the place. Would that tea shop be very peaceful? No, I don't think it would. And that's what cortisol is doing to your body. It's like pinging golf balls all over the place and knocking out your ability to create help. When someone says to me, oh, I've tried everything, there's two places that I know we're going to be going. And one of them is their cortisol levels. We've got to use more tools to mitigate the cortisol. And magnesium does that. It mitigates cortisol. It also protects your brain function from the cortisol. Magnesium protects your brain function, which is a little off topic from hormones, but that's okay. We're going to throw that little fact in there also. And so magnesium becomes so important in overall hormone balance. Now, it used to be excess estrogen wasn't experienced until we hit perimenopause, but now we have 6 and 7 and 8-year-old little girls being diagnosed with excess estrogen. as all sorts of different lifestyle choices and food problems and all sorts of things kick into gear. And so it's important for men also, but mostly women are here, and you and I are focused on our health. Mostly, as the more we protect the cortisol, the younger we are, the better perimenopause and menopause is. And if you're in perimenopause or menopause, you might think, oh my goodness, my life is not my own. Well, you can turn to the younger generation and help them understand and say, okay, here's some steps that we can do so that you don't have this incredible life experience during perimenopause and menopause, because we need to mitigate what happens with cortisol. It's so important to mitigate what happens with cortisol. Okay, I just thought of one more thing we could talk about, and then we'll call it done. So DHEA, it's like the mama boss hormone, and it's the one that think of, and I'll go back to my home with my kids when all of them were at home and had activities. Okay, you go here, you go there, you need this signed. Don't forget your cleats. Don't forget your harp for harp lesson. She never forgot her harp, but I'm just throwing out the things my kids did. Take your flute. Is this been practiced? Has your piano been practiced? Don't forget your boots for horse riding lessons. I mean, I just wanted my kids involved in what their passions were. And those were some of their passions. And I felt like I was in the middle, kind of directing all the places they need to be and making they showed up at the right time, the right place with the right stuff, with food in their belly. That's what DHEA does to all of your hormones. And the beautiful, beautiful thing about magnesium is it regulates DHEA. So if you have too much DHEA, which a few women do, it will downregulate your DHEA. If you have not enough DHEA, it's part of the solution to upregulate your DHEA. So now we've talked about magnesium, what it does for hormones during your 30-day magnesium soaking challenge. What was the most beneficial for you? What helped you really connect to why you soak when it comes to hormone balance? And understanding your why, and I think, maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't agree, but I think the education behind the why helps you take more action. So what did you connect when it comes to your hormones, magnesium, how they work, and what it does for you? Share with me. I would love to know. Now, today was day 25, 26. Day 26. It's up on the little title. Today was day 26 of our 30-day magnesium challenge. So we're almost done. We're getting close to the end, and I've loved being with you on this challenge. I would love to know where you're at, if you've started soaking, how it's going, and you'll recognize, and I want you to notice this specifically, so many women, myself included, I'm not pointing fingers, so many women, myself included, buy into being perfect and having to do things perfectly. If you'll notice, our magnesium soaking challenge, I have not done a perfect job on keeping up with the videos. I had a little unexpected road trip. I had a couple things come up. I lost my voice for a while, just some things. But we just got on the next day and we kept going, right? Like, we didn't stop because I didn't do it right, because I wasn't perfect at the 30-day challenge. We just started the next day and kept going. And so I think our magnesium August, I think our banner still says August 30-day magnesium challenge, actually is ending, I think, about September, mid-September sometime. So if you've missed a couple days, I'm talking to you. If you've missed a couple days, just keep going. Get up the next day and just move on. one of the most powerful things that you will learn about creating health is not giving up and being good to yourself, not beating yourself up. Like if I missed a day of soaking in magnesium, would you berate me? Or would you tell me, oh, Kristen, just give up. Don't do it tomorrow. You're never going to do this right. No, 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 no. You would never tell me that. You would be so kind and gracious. And you'd probably say something like, you know what, Kristen, it's okay. You missed it today, but let's get up and do it tomorrow. And I would. Part of creating health is when you get data back from your body, not buying into ego. And if you're beating yourself up with the data, whether that's a scale, whether that's your body temperature, whether that's how many days you've soaked in magnesium, whether that's how you ate over the holiday weekend, with all the love in my heart, you've bought into ego and you're trying to prove that you're good. And because you didn't do it perfectly, you're therefore bad. Let ego go. Just boom, let it go. Take the data exactly as it is, data and feedback, for you to make a decision to move forward. You're not better because of it, and you're not worse because of it. It's data. It's feedback. You say you want feedback. You say you want to create help, but then you get the data and you go into a spiral because of the data. And so healing that pattern, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I am not. I am so much better at it, though, than what I used to be. And I don't chase help. I attract help. And if you want to create help that way, where you attract help and you stop chasing it, then start looking at your data neutrally. Data is a carrier for your thoughts and your energy. It's neutral. But you project negativity or positivity. So for example, if you get on the scales, and you have a better day because of what the scales say, that's still your ego. You're being driven by ego. If you get on the scales and the numbers aren't where you want them to be and your day is worse, it's the same pattern. You're being driven by ego. Get on the scales. It's neutral. Take the data to make decisions for where you want to be moving forward. And the more you can do that, the less cortisol you will create, and the faster you will attract help coming to you. Let's go here. Yeah. And all that feedback is literally a carrier for energy. And we are so powerful. We are the ones putting the energy on that data. We're laying on it that it's good or bad. And then sometimes people even go to I'm good or I'm bad. It's neutral. It's neutral data. And once you can start training yourself to see it as neutrality and it's just data to help you make decisions, it changes your relationship with your body. And you can't create health if you're punishing your body when you're not perfect, because that's what happens. You punish your body when you're not perfect. If you're buying into, it's a good day because of this, it's a bad day, it's a good day, you're punishing your body for not being perfect. And we can't create health when we're punishing our body. It spikes cortisol. Now, soaking in magnesium is going to help you mitigate as you're on this journey with me. And I'm so glad. I am so very glad that you're on this journey with me. And we're almost done. And I'm getting excited to come to the very end, and a little sad at the same time, but I've loved being with you. So I can't wait to hear how it's going for you. Bye-bye.